are the foundation of the future. Action is crucial. I are the rock. I are the solution. Day by day you do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Judge me not by what I seem to be. Judge me by what I say and I do. You give what you got and you get what you give. Keep it consistent, keep it positive. I are the foundation of the future. Action is crucial. Are the rock. I are the solution.
Peace is love. Peace is unity. Peace is respect. Peace is you and me. We only want peace.
Do not tell me about those gunshot and bomb blasts, the roaring sound of tanks that fail to think before launching a bang that causes more harm. They said the best way to start a conflict is for God to create a man with an empty stomach beside a man with a protruding belly. The touch of the wind on my skin makes me question my own existence, thus ending up asking myself this question: do dead people feel the touch of the wind or the whispers of peace? After all, I am but a messenger of peace. The whispers that stops you from being violent when you abuse for your skin, religion or language. That is peace. Why the aggression? It's time for confession. How many souls have you led into the ocean of depression that often wash them away from the shores of peace? For peace should be our possession, no more question. Peace will be the motto of my generation. Peace is attainable, definable. Peace exists in you and me. Peace is not a buffalo that escapes into the thin air or a tear from a widow eye that can't be held onto. Peace is here with us. I can feel his presence. Do you know why peace is running far away from our chaos? Because we ourselves have helped in diminishing and extinguishing its light. Peace is here, not there. When you board a plane, you don't inquire about the religion or the skin color of the pilot, for your aim is to land in peace, not pieces. What will you lose from loving another human or letting him wander on your streets? After all, the same red blood flows through your veins. Don't worry about the uniqueness in our skins. Just like the rainbow, we beautify the world with colors. For the prayers in Mecca and Jerusalem is peace. For white, black people is peace. Raise your hand if you are peace.
We don't have to do it all alone. Even if it feels that way with the hand we've been dealt, even if the odds have been stacked against us our entire lives, we don't have to do it all alone. But it feels that way sometimes. Was it meant to be like this? How much of the road has been rigged? How much of it has been paved by the color of my skin, the keys between my thighs, the slant of my eyes? It's no surprise when a hand is raised at me, but for you, the courts must be called. It was Karen. 6 o'clock news, violence spews, hashtag BLM, milk tea alliance, water is life, me too, but everyone still loses in the end. We dance a different dance. Our bodies know a rhythm of resilience, of what it means to be between a rock and a hard place and still bloom like a dandelion through concrete. Sometimes we take a step back while patting your spine, swallowing our words, swallowing our worth just to move forward. Most times we got little choice. When we look up, We only see the same faces, the same people who feed themselves the cake, and by the time it gets to us, it's just crumbs. And you wonder why we've been hungry for so long. You wonder why we're out here in the streets, setting up camp, blocking bridges, sharing strategies from coast to coast, sending letters to our parents that we might not come home, in the hopes that we will be free, that we will all be free. I was once told that privilege was like having big feet. We all have them, feet, that is. Different sizes and shapes and grooves under the toes, meeting the earth heavy with the weight that we each carry, heavy with the weight of all we don't know. Bigger ones tend to leave marks on the timeline like scars within the rings of an ancient tree. We know the life of one person changes everything, and we know that the death of one person can change everything too. Truth is, it's still all love. I mean, we can't help how we fell into this world. No one asked for this. No one blames you for having big feet. But if you do, just one request. Watch where you step. Pay attention, because it all matters. Each movement matters. Each moment matters. The past is not just the past. The future is now. A butterfly flaps its wings and causes a tornado. A party sparks a fire scorching tens of thousands of acres and counting. A breath is taken for the last time and exhales a revolution. We were built into this world alone and together. So ask yourself, what is it that you want to leave behind?
This piece goes out to anyone who has a vision of what this world should look like and is working towards that goal. Aim high. Aim high, shoot far, aim for the moon. If you miss, you'll hit a star. Aim high, shoot far, just aim for the moon. If you miss, you'll hit a star. And it's easier to want things than to get them. Most people have dreams, but they never manifest them. Pressure makes diamonds. You have to mind if you want to come out shining. And dreams mean nothing if they leave when eyelids flutter open. See, empires were built from just wishing and hoping. See, doors were always open. Opportunities may pass, ships may sail, but you have control of the mast. And this is your sea. This is your sky. It's your destiny. Let no one break your concentration. They got that tunnel vision. Let them stay in their mental train stations, cause success is a journey, it's not a destination. You need to have that patience that drives, make your passions come alive, and you alone can decide how far you will go. And God gave you his divine ability. Believe in speaking into being. See before actually seeing. Give your life meaning as you attain what you envision. Keep on dreaming, don't ever let it die. So be the eagle that never knew he could fly.
The people are counting on you. The people are counting on you. The people are counting on you. The people are counting on you.
Win! Win!
All right.
Win!
Now let's go. In the middle of Babylon, what's going on? Hold it down with the up or down. Listen to the sounds from the clouds to the ground. When you heard, tap into the universe. It's a gift, not a curse. It could always be worse. Put your mask on first.
Win! Win! Win!
And breathe. And say to yourself, what I do right now is up to me. Every
Food for Peace. In this poem, we meet a war general, a crooked politician, a drug lord, and a supremacist. An unexpected arrival to a place far-fetched from their realities. As little as we reflect on the casualties we cause to this world on this day, we meet at a place I've never met before, at a place I've never seen before, Peace Town, a dining place on the side of Route Anarchy 5. Welcome to Peace Town, home to new peacemakers. Can I take your order? Dazzled and disdained at the sight of peacemakers, the quad forwards back to their call. Wait, take a look at the menu at least before you go. They think, how dare this pacifist question their judgment to bypass any establishment that puts peace as a forefront of their existence? Questions pose more questions as the greeter places 4 menus in front of them. Captioned, making the world a better place since there is no year. They look on. Today's special everlasting peace. Empathy boiled into the hearts of those seeking sustainable revolution for all living beings with a compassion to reflect on individual contributions to which created an imbalanced world, served with a side of courage. Before they can think, they capture another piecemeal, the anti-oppressive soup, a savory stew of love for human compassion, respect, and decency to nurture a world that rejects any idioms and practices related to the disruptive judgment of one's race, economic status, ethnic group, sex, gender identity, sexuality, culture, geography, level of education, choice of religion, and the status of physical, mental, and emotional health, served with a side of leadership. And just one more, the Just Say No economic platter. An assortment of aspirational ideologies to eliminate a world that operates from the strength of created economical weaknesses with the vision of internalizing healthy globalization, serving size for 6. End world hunger with sustainable and cooperative economics. End climate change through the elimination of supply chains rooted in anti-earth practices. End drug epidemics with the dismantlement of the global drug economy. End human trafficking with the creation of a unified force dedicated to eradicating prime HubSpots and locational markets. End poverty and homelessness with a devout plan to redistribute wealth, resource, and literacy to those in need. And end colonization with the release of the colonized from the colonizer, along with any reparative tools and opportunities for domestic restoration. Everyone raises their eyes to the greeter. One can see the pain in each of their sockets, 2 fighting back tears, one screaming and antagonizing pain, and another so silent to Earth's ears. Pause. I'm afraid you've missed one more. It's everyone's favorite when they visit Peace Town. They look over, turn their menus, and read aloud in one breath. The bento box of forgiveness. A 4-piece bento box with pickled hope, fresh willingness to impact internal and external change, rolled up passion, and a side of introspection for self-reflection and acceptance, drizzled with the forgiveness of personal impact for contributing to a divisive world regardless of action or reaction, served with a side of experiential wisdom. The silence between them is heavier than the weight of an unjust world. We accept commitment and dedication as our form of payment here at Peace Town. We only have 2 policies: consume peace with grace and hard work, and take a left on Route Anarchy 5 onto Justice of All Kinds Interstate. There you will meet other peacemakers to share foods for thought for creating a more peaceful world. Each of the individuals returned to the car full of many delicacies for peace and change, drifting onto the interstates away from the beautiful sunset that burst on Anarchy 5. From the road more traveled by to the road more needed by, they turn, and it is the politician who notices the new caption on his receipt. Welcome to Peace Town, making the world a better place since today.
Survival is not a fingerprint. It is not the blueprint or the river you come to in the mornings. It is not your home or a place to get rooted or how you pray. It is sometimes access, sometimes repetitive functioning, sometimes the easier land to swim to. I've known of survival as my default. I know when I would lie to the breath in its unwillingness to last. I gave myself awards for outwitting endurance, thought suffering was a part of the trophy of finding land, thought it was too selfish to dispossess the rubble or choose the sweetened, more finished road, thought it was a sin to lean on the tree's extension of life, the fruit beckoning into the world, thought if I ate, I needed to build my own tree from the brown of my own hands, from the root of my own back, and if I stretched out all of me for everything, then I could, like elastic, become a bigger version of myself, a worthier story my body could live from. But the truth is that all trees are planted by someone, and if not someone, then waves of a deteriorating fruit, and if not the waves, then an animal. And if not an animal, then always the creator of that animal. And isn't that the original sign that it is okay to need? To need is not a sin. To name your need is not a blasphemy, but instead how you hold your humanity, your livelihood. So what does it mean to build a world that's existential question is not survival, but purpose? Wouldn't that mean that I need you? Like the fruit needed the person, or the wind, or the animal? Wouldn't that mean that love is a human right? That radical love is the foundational truth of our existence? Wouldn't that mean that I can't run away from my running away? Wouldn't that mean that my hands begin when they surrender, when they fall facing up, fasting from the need to move, and say, take this cup, I trust you'll make it run over.
Things I could never tell the sea. It's hard to wash away sins from the waters our ancestors tried to walk on, taught me that I could only stay alive if I keep my head up when being submerged in you. Waiting, because this Sarah Batman body drags me underwater when I do nothing. But Yamaha would never allow the sea to swallow our kind whole again. Her name, which means mother whose children are the fish, you knew big fish couldn't live in tiny ponds. You watched me stifle, knew water had oxygen in it, knew underwaters where blacks learned to breathe, to know water means struggle, to be twins. Both bodies of water, why my sweat and tears are salted, never question why the sea is so salty. Didn't you know this black is cleansed? I don't get seasick when the sea cradles me to sleep. On the spines of men no book seems to bind or account for. Funny how the water always brings things back to us. You are the body that holds all of my troubles, better than my mother could. My mother's mother's mother held you like if it was a rite of passage. And once my mother told me to never turn my back against the sea. In front of me is current and it's only the waves that would get me there. But how can you turn your back against the thing that brought you here? So here I am, my mother's 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 reincarnation. I can imagine living in a space that has less room than the dead. Seems to be a little bit selfish. I can imagine the captain confusing his spirit of his men with the spirit in his cup. Both deadly, his cockpit a bridge, to know death better than bondage, to be free, to be twins, to know these bodies belong to nobody, so we will have a funerary baptism, an open casket for the fishes, a body as a bloody host for a shark's communion, encapsulating dense bones of my ancestors in Davy Jones's locker. I was a middle passage between dirt and a foreign land, between land and a foreign land. The water between continents became a second home to me. I am an immigrant, permanent like a riptide. We teach our children to use water as leisure, but teach them to wash away pain in the solvent that got us out of it. And that's why I learned to wade first. Just as the ocean gave birth to black people and delivered us to a new land, some seek salvation here. But for the rest of us, finding escape was enough.
Happy International Peace Day, everyone. My name is Gabriel Ramirez, and when I think about what it looks like to shape peace together, it takes the effort of individuals and the communities that they are a part of to make that kind of peace possible. And with that, here is my poem, The Blooming. I am tired of yelling, of losing my voice to prove a point, to be heard. Born, male, black, Dominican, I've been taught to take up space, but no one ever told me that I could be a garden, could be soft and smell good and bloom at volumes people usually walk past. Usually lavender, mango cocoa, and pink sugar oils are how people remember me. How the air became an antidote, became the search for the scent that filled their lungs with flowers, with what reminds them they too can be a home for breathing and blossoming joy. And the heart hugs that follow, they require us to hug with the left sides of our bodies so that our hearts face each other while we all take a deep breath in and exhale together. Exhaling everything that tried keeping us from being here in this hug, this holy place that has no heaven except for the other person. For this intimacy is in no need of romance, in no need of a false future promised to one another, but the promise of this hug ending when we are both ready to release each other back into the world, back to sidewalks brimming with a ghost, and the promise of some danger. Some gardens are unlike anything you've ever seen, but you never ask what had to die for you to be this captivated. To be a garden is to take up space, hoping others will call you home. Call on rainy days too. Days when clouds are all so you forget to look west, forget to thank light for its time, bright and generous, now retreating into invisibility instead of staying where they feel unloved. Where I will return. To be unloved is to have been loved incorrectly, loved enough to believe the lie of love being all I need. All of the failed gods in my stomach are dead and screaming for tenderness, screaming like my father. A garden ended at the root, at his bipolar, his depression, his alone. And I blame his absence for not letting me show him how to water himself into what heals. What kind of son am I to think what is my father's isn't mine, isn't genetic? I carry his loneliness that isn't loneliness, but the choice to ignore the world. Thank you so much.
मस्त 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 दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त मस्त दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त मस्त दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त कोविरदे दम दम अली अली कोविरदे दम दम अली अली सखीलाल कलंदर मस्त मस्त सखीलाल कलंदर मस्त मस्त झूले लाल कलंदर मस्त 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 कलंदर मस्त मस्त दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त मस्त दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त
The music's got me drunk and I haven't had a drop. It must be Kalunda that's got in this pot. Intoxicated rhythms that seduce this lock. The key's been turned and my heart's in shock. This ticker's got a clock, so take the hands off the clock. This blood is getting hot on my chest, is it not? Pop, pop. No, you can't be stopped. My eyes have been opened and I'm ready to watch these crimson robes that carry stories of old, echoing the tale of Ali across the fold. Words that can carry us shelter from the cold, meant for the lips of the meek and bold. Let the truth be told by 1,000 ruby tongues. Blessed is the breath of the old and young. Only your grace knows the treasure of these lungs. You bring the light, now the darkness is done.
कोविरदे दम दम कोविरदे दम दम कोविरदे दम दम अली अली कोविरदे दम दम अली अली सखीलाल कलंदर मस्त मस्त सखीलाल कलंदर मस्त मस्त झूले लाल कलंदर मस्त मस्त दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त मस्त दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त.
May your spirit be drunk, may your spirit be light. May you find all the grace that's offered in this life. May your spirit be filled, may your spirit be free. May you be blessed by the love of Ali. May your spirit be drunk, may your spirit be light. May you find all the grace that's offered in this life. May your spirit be filled, may your spirit be free. May you be blessed by the love of Ali.
Peace, peace. Assalamu alaikum. This is called The Message. Make a fable of these hands. When everything becomes transition, when everything has somewhere else to be, give me your blood. Not all of it, just a drip, just enough to speak into the sky all the things we ever wanted to say, never had the courage to say it. Sometime soon, we will ask the showers of sunlight for a second chance, for a legend which ends in a beginning. A beast saved by the bell cracked but still singing. When every mistake is seen chasing your body down cobblestone roads, make a dance of this bullfight. A matador at your mat or door, pleading for atonement, for escape, midnight bleeding from his cape. And yet, you are the furthest away when you are right here. And yet, the closer you are, the louder the quiet. There are pigeons straddling the streets, searching for glory dusted and fading. They were supposed to be doves, born to carry paper prayers on the flight of their feet. And so we run, because we are running out of time all of the time. And as long as it takes to shake these sins out of our system, to put the serpents back in repent, we march softly towards a message which proves its reputation for alchemy. Swimming through the cold to finally feel warm through Rubik's cubes made of sandcastles, through bodies forgotten by the ambers. You think maybe there was promise in the past, but maybe it's not what we prayed for. Forever forward, a charcoal salmon, staccato scales reminiscing of the sea. When the cartographer of your heart places rivers where your eyes used to be, I gaze at the lines of your hands. I read it and read it. A summary of all the things we chose to let go. So walk slow. We are all carrying the best parts of ourselves, searching for one another, but perhaps the same thing you are searching for is already marching softly towards you. Don't wait. Never wait. Don't wait for peace to come. Don't wait. Wait. Never wait for peace to come. Peace.
What they didn't write in the newspaper, what they didn't show in the media, was that you were neither lost nor savage, that you stood for your people, that you had a message grander than any sky, gathered the shadow of your ancestors, scribbled all you had left across your tongue, and told them that there's no more space in the waiting room of a man's chest that bleeds freedom, that speaks nobility, that is the hired gun of hope, with the homeland bleeding in its streets, with the youth of a people who have spoken freedom in mother tongue. Concrete streets knowing more than enough feet stomping today. Deadline has a new meaning. What they didn't tell you is how to answer your children when they ask you why they are born with a pre-placed target across their back, to be taken out by the ones who are there to serve and protect. When the administration questions why streets are full with new and embedded faith, taking what belongs to them, wanting freedom and justice of who they are, what was written for you. That is when you know something is wrong. When you've tried to hold the soul in of a man from the bullet holes of injustice, then you know what it's like to see a life flash before your eyes in reality. We have become a people that have known oppression like the backs of our hands. Our eyes overwhelmed. We spend our days watching the salvation being ripped from its core of a people that have wanted livelihood in handfuls. We hear your cries for justice, the wars in your bellies, the hunger in your hearts to be answered by a rise in your youth, a thunder in your belief, a hope in your history. We sit in rooms that carry none of our lineage. We teach from textbooks that rearrange our history, color-coded kaleidoscopes of youth. What they didn't say is that you have a history written in tears, a roaring heart of faith, a warrior's message, an infamous ocean of ears, a cargo ship of will, an embodiment of land and soul, the stories that should be told. What they didn't write in the newspaper, what they didn't show in the media, is that we sit a sea away from what real revolutions look like, and we've borne our battle gracefully. So now it's our time. And our tomorrow looks brighter because you had a place in creating it.
Aiden doesn't talk politics on vacation. Things were different for Aiden. So when Amnesty International explained their human rights work in Venezuela, he leaned in, whispered, "Listen, I know this is important, but I don't want to talk politics on vacation." Even though we were only in Brussels because we'd signed up to study world government, but because things were different. He couldn't tell how my skin grew too hot to hold, how I blamed the spicy mayo on Belgian fries and didn't reach for the Tabasco for 5 dinners straight, and because things were different. I didn't show him the boiling of my skin. I just bit my lip, unhinged my retainer and my second tongue, and doused them in Clorox, and because things were different, I didn't whisper back. I didn't ask Aiden about his hungry relatives, and I didn't tell him about my uncle wandering empty supermarket aisles in Caracas. I just picked on my calluses. And as Amnesty International wrapped up their presentation, I left on the table a Granny Smith peel of me.
Oh, we call for peace. Peace. Earth, hallelujah. Peace for the natural world. Yes. And peace for our place in the natural world. We've got the natural world inside of us, am I right? We're made of the earth. Earth, hallelujah. Human justice. Earth justice. One and the same thing. Earth justice, human justice, same thing. Earth justice, human justice, same thing. Earth justice, Earth, hallelujah. 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 Take your stand. Take your stand. The child is wild and mother to the man. Take your stand. Take your stand. Earth must be young to take a stand. Take your stand. Take your stand. The child is wild and mother to the man. Take your stand. Take your stand. This caverns underground. Highest jet stream in the sun. Follow the young. Hey, follow the young. This is it. Earth riot, climate riot. Here you come, here you come. This is it. Earth riot, climate riot. Here you come, here you come. This is it. Earth riot, climate riot. Here you come.
Hi, my name is Nathaniel Valdivieso, and I don't know how to write a peaceful poem. Forgot how to breathe slow, the world gets loud, and I'm scared of forgetting. Yesterday I blinked and I missed another genocide. I forgot how to stop with my eyes open. I go outside and see a battlefield. The concrete's burning. These days it's like I'm waiting to flinch at the news. These days it's text me when you get home. Write a number down on your arm so they can't take it from you. Bring eye drops for the tear gas and pack light in case you need to run. Please, I just care about you. Get home safe. I blinked and almost forgot my generation was scared to go to school last year. bulletproof backpacks sold at like crayons last September, and at 3, some kids ride home in body bags. I hear gunshots and I text my friends. I hear fireworks and I text my friends. I hear a motorcycle misfire and duck not too loud, or I'm called a snowflake. I hold my breath, and I'm reminded that some can't breathe, go missing in the night at their doorstep while jogging, living. I don't know how to write a peaceful poem yet. I tried. Show me.
Back in 2011, scientists found 17 pyramids and over 3,000 Egyptian settlements that were previously unknown to us, buried hundreds of feet below the surface. The infrared camera they used to find these settlements was in space, 400 miles above Earth. That's what this poem is based on. Man was born out of Eve's womb, and she is a descendant of clay. Or is it Lilith? Or is it Adam's ribcage? She just may be a great-grandchild of fish. The sun revolved around us until the solar system showed that we were one of 8 planets that toured the famous star. No offense, Pluto, and no offense, Snuffleupagus planet Nibiru. Earth turned out to be as flat as a sphere. Columbus discovered an old continent with human inhabitants who centuries before crossed over an icy Bering Strait. That's if they are not the lost tribes of Israel. The Aztecs and Africans built the pyramids after ancient aliens had designed them. It's all a mirage of confusion. We've hardly scratched the surface of the human genome. So where does our arrogance get off assuming we see the whole picture when so many pieces of the puzzle are hidden and fresh to our comprehension? It took us a 400-mile step back to see 17 pyramids and over 3,000 settlements previously unknown buried under Egyptian sand. We are still finding ourselves. Who knows about all that is in the Vatican vaults, or what is on the dark side of the moon, or why Greece won't allow scientists to study their coast, where we found pottery, tools, and weapons that fit into no era or culture as our knowledge of history has documented. Or how informative it would be to excavate a pyramid in Illinois, or when we all individually come to that moment, that proverbial instance of the all-knowing, with all questions ever to be answered. Or must it make transcendent this existence to do so? We still have so much that we do not know. So whether it was the weather of the great rains, or the big boom with tides, or volcanic ash, or frozen ice meteors that gave our planet water, one conspiracy is no theory. It is a fact. A content arrogance stalemates growth and intelligence. We still have so much more to find. More aware. The next time I stop digging deeper, I'll have 17 pyramids and over 3,000 settlement reasons to keep exploring myself. Conveniently, searching out your inner self doesn't require a 400-mile step back. Only one immeasurable move. You still have so much more of yourself to see and unshovel.
You see, they
wanted us to tiptoe through the tulips. We said, no, we gonna footwork and move hips. See, our tiptoes be too swift, we two-step, then move quick. See, we be foundation. Like concrete in an open lot, y'all dance was built off of what we brought, and we brought that realness, that grit, that grime. You call it urban, we say color can't be defined. Honey, we are melanin skin. We turn bland into current trend with a pop lock and a head spin. See, we know what it means to stand in the sunlight even though they be throwing shade. We have bled from red hearts and still came out like black spades, winning no matter the hand. Because in every hand, spades always trump. Put our feelings and emotions in protest, in crump, fist bump. Like Africa Bombada, we started breaking rules. Used hip-hop as our tool. Shout out to DJ Kool Herc for putting in work. Can I get a whoop-whoop for the old school? We salute Sam, y'all, but that's boogaloo. You see, we roll Soul Train because our souls were in pain. But we do not vogue in vain. From our black, we whack. From New York to Camelback, racism never ran this train off track, and we still kept it classy. Like Catherine Dunham. Modern dance never seen us coming. And we realized then that they may not like the color of our skin, but that our music and our movement is in every sector you're in. So when we step in the cypher, we don't hesitate. We dance away the anger so we don't harbor hate. And we learn through dance how to collaborate. And if we all did the same, y'all, we could make America great.
La 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 la
Somos tierra, somos agua, somos aire, somos fuego.
Hoy, nuestra Madre Tierra respira y nos da una gran lección. Nos muestra que ella, como ser vivo e inteligente, es creadora de su propio hábitat, con la capacidad de recrearse a sí misma y reinventar su entorno, con o sin ayuda de la presencia humana. Nos enseña que la felicidad no llega cuando tenemos lo que deseamos, sino cuando disfrutamos de lo que tenemos. Porque la tierra no es de nosotros. Nosotros somos de la tierra. Un renacimiento que amorosamente nos invita a florecer por dentro y así obtener la claridad y la fortaleza para evolucionar en una nueva oportunidad de vivir en ella. Sin embargo, nuestros siguientes pasos deberán ser dados respetando, honrando, cuidando y amando a nuestra madre naturaleza, quien con su sabiduría y bondad nos provee de todo lo necesario para vivir en equilibrio. No olvidemos que la verdadera medicina está en la naturaleza y que el poder más grande para sanar es el amor. Mostremos a nuestros niños que el equilibrio es el principio supremo de todo y la cosecha futura dependerá de lo que sembremos hoy en ellos. Es tiempo de preguntarnos, ¿cuáles son las huellas que dejan mis acciones hoy? Seamos parte de este movimiento de conciencia, de amor hacia nuestro planeta, a la humanidad, a la vida. Recordemos que no somos seres humanos viviendo una experiencia espiritual. Somos espíritu viviendo una experiencia humana. Así que hoy ríe, canta, danza, juega, sueña, perdona, ama cada segundo de cada momento que vivas. Silenciando nuestro ego, el poder se elevará. Es tiempo de despertar.
Let us begin by calling forth the ancestors. Now that the warriors, chiefs, and matriarchs of times past are here at last, let us pause and acknowledge their presence. Wopilatanka. We are one. We are one. We are one. Metakyo Ayasi. We are all related. Related. We are all related. Not just me and you, brothers and sisters, but all of us, the rocks and the rivers, everything that flies above, everything that crawls below, related, in relation, my relative. Do you ever just pause? Stop scrolling, stop scrolling, stop scrolling. Whatever you're searching for, it's not out there in the nothingness. There's beauty and expansion, creativity and wonderment inside ourselves, inside of you. Put your phone down, sit with your breath and go in, go deep. There's an entire universe in there. Can't you feel it resting in your stomach? Can't you feel it bursting from your chest? That heart is your power source. That beat is your own natural rhythm. You are perfectly on time. You are perfectly in time with the universe. Feel that power, that presence, that's you. Clear your mind. Breathe your spirit into your body. Follow your heart. It will lead you. And now, if you will allow, I'm asking to lead you. If you are comfortable, please close your eyes. Yes, really, right now, close your eyes. Listen to the sound of my voice, and as you do, hear the voices of all those who have come before me. And breathe. Breathe in the air of revolutionary love. Breathe out the stress and suffering. Breathe in, imagining a source of compassion. Breathe out the grief and violence. Breathe in, healing, light. Breathe out, trapped emotions. Breathe in, pride, reckoning, and survival. Breathe out, all the pain and shame. Breathe in, forgiveness. Breathe out, inadequacy. Breathe in your fight for lives and life. Breathe out your fear and pain. Breathe in our healthy future. Breathe out our wounded past. Imagine your ancestors surrounding you now. Imagine your own compassion surrounds you. Now let us take a breath together for a change. Breathe in. Breathe out. And as we continue breathing from where we are, sense our breaths together for a change. Let us feel and see no stranger, now or ever. Repeat after me in your own mind. May I find peace. May I know peace. May I create peace. If you haven't yet, please open your eyes. May we remember we are good. May we know we are strong. May we feel we are loved. We are love. I am love. I am love. Peace.
We're strong, potent and solid. We're mighty, yet shaken. We tremble, shudder, shiver. We are river of calm, cool and collected, quiet, still and smooth. Smooth is the mood of love through mood ring eyes. We try, for we are challenged, taxed, tested, arrested. Intensify, a people in defense of thy humanness. Seriously, and not so serious. Delirious child, turbulently mild, mildly wild. We are love, we are seething. Gullible children believing, understanding and demanding, yet easy, oh so breezy. Protective, corrective, we are love.